One of the most tragic stories associated with Monte Cristo Homestead is that of a young woman who took her own life by jumping off of the balcony. Burdened by the weight of her circumstances and the despair that accompanied her situation, she made the heartbreaking decision to leap into the void below. Witnesses claim that her spirit continues to haunt the homestead, often appearing as a shadowy figure near the balcony where she met her tragic end. Visitors have reported feeling a profound sadness in the area, as if the echoes of her sorrow still lingers in the air, haunting the very place where her life came to an abrupt and devastating conclusion. Hello, listeners. Welcome to Dark and Divine Encounters. I'm your host, Denise Dodge, and in each episode, I will be guiding you through two real supernatural encounters, one eerie and the other one more uplifting. Life is a mix of trials and triumphs, and I've seen that the paranormal is no different. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and follow us on social media for updates. New episodes drop every Wednesday until the season ends. Please share this podcast with people you know who love scary stories, spiritual lore, and anything unexplained. Please note this podcast features stories of paranormal activity and true crime, which may contain details or description of events that may be unsettling or triggering for some listeners. Take care of your needs first and always. Today for our dark segment, we're going to take you to the eerie Monte Cristo Homestead, located in Junee, Australia. This infamous site is renowned as one of the most haunted locations in the country, with a history steeped in tragedy and loss. Many who visit the homestead report chilling encounters with spirits of its former inhabitants, creating an atmosphere that sends shivers down the spine. What do these ghostly presences reveal about the events that unfolded within its walls, and how do they shape our understanding of the afterlife? For our divine segment, we're going to hear about the mystical Kalpavriksha, which is a wish-fulfilling tree revered in Hinduism. This extraordinary tree is said to grant the desires of those who seek its blessings. We're going to explore the story surrounding this sacred tree, and we're going to delve into practical ways to harness its power, guiding us on how to manifest our own wishes. So, are you ready for step-by-step instructions on how to get your wishes answered? I cannot wait to walk you through it. Today, we explore the chilling and mysterious Monte Cristo Homestead, often called the most haunted property in Australia. Nestled in the small town of Junee, New South Wales, this Victorian mansion has a dark history filled with tales of tragedy, eerie occurrences, and ghostly encounters that have earned it a reputation as the nation's spookiest residence. The origins of Monte Cristo Homestead trace back to its original owners, Christopher William Crawley and his wife Elizabeth Crawley. Christopher, born in 1841, was an ambitious and determined man who saw an opportunity for success in the growing town of Junee. In 1876, when the Great Southern Railway was established, he purchased land near the railway line, eventually building a grand two-story Victorian mansion to reflect his newfound wealth. The Crawley family quickly became prominent figures in the local community, and Monte Cristo became a symbol of their influence and prosperity. Elizabeth Crawley, Christopher's devoted wife, played a significant role in the homestead's story. She was known for her stern demeanor and strict religious beliefs. Elizabeth managed the household with an iron hand, ensuring that the grand estate maintained its status. She lived in the home until her death in 1933, and it is said that her spirit still lingers there. She's unable to leave the property she cherished. The Crawleys' legacy is deeply intertwined with the tragic history of Monte Cristo, as their presence, both in life and beyond, continues to influence the stories of ghostly encounters experienced at the homestead. Elizabeth Crawley's life at Monte Cristo Homestead was marked by challenges beyond the grand facade of Victorian wealth and propriety, one of which was concealing her indigenous Wiradjuri roots. In 19th century Australia, racial prejudice and societal expectations made it nearly impossible for Elizabeth to openly acknowledge her heritage without facing severe discrimination. Instead, she was forced to engage and present as a Caucasian woman, a performance that would have required constant vigilance, emotional restraint, and a suppression of her true identity. This hidden struggle would have added a layer of complexity to her already demanding role as a wife and mother in a very prominent household, making her strict demeanor not only a reflection of the expectations placed upon her, but also as a shield to protect her and her family from the harsh realities of colonial society. On December 14th of 1910, tragedy struck within the walls of Monte Cristo when Christopher Crawley passed away. His death was caused by a combination of heart failure and blood poisoning. The blood poisoning stemmed from a carbuncle on his neck that had become infected, likely due to the constant friction against his starched collar. It was a painful and tragic end for the man who had built the homestead and established the Crawley family's wealth and influence. After Christopher's untimely death, his wife, Elizabeth Crawley, struggled to cope with the profound loss. Consumed by grief, she withdrew from the world and confined herself within her homestead. Elizabeth found solace in isolation, retreating to the attic where she had constructed a small chapel. For the next 23 years, she rarely ever left the house, living a deeply reclusive life. Tragically, Elizabeth's journey ended within the same wall she had chosen as her sanctuary. She passed away at the age of 92 on August 12th of 1933. Succumbing to a ruptured appendix. While the Crawley family's presence is deeply embedded in Monte Cristo's history, they are far from the only spirits that are said to linger within its walls. Many believe that the homestead is haunted not just by Christopher and Elizabeth, but also by a host of other restless souls who met their tragic fates on the property. From the cries of a phantom child to the unsettling presence of a caretaker, the stories of these otherworldly inhabitants add layers of mystery and fear to the Monte Cristo reputation as Australia's most haunted home. Let's explore the tales of these spirits who are said to remain at the homestead to this day. One of the most frequently seen apparitions, and the one that we have to start with at Monte Cristo Homestead, is that of Elizabeth Crawley herself. She is known and called the Lady in Grey. Her ghostly presence is often felt throughout the property, especially at the top of the grand staircase, where she watches over the house with an otherworldly gaze. Visitors have reported catching glimpses of her lingering figure. She presents as a gray form, appearing as if she's still safeguarding her beloved home. Elizabeth is also frequently seen in the small room she once transformed into a chapel, as if she remains tethered to the place where she sought solace during her years of isolation. Witnesses describe the Lady in Grey as a shadowy figure that is clad in somber black attire, often spotted carrying a shiny silver cross. Her haunting presence is so intense that it has been known to frighten visitors out of the dining room. People report a sudden, bone-chilling drop in temperature that accompanies her ethereal appearance. In contrast, Christopher Crawley, her husband, makes only sporadic appearances throughout the homestead, and they don't have the same emotional impact. He is rarely seen and tends to move very quietly through the hallways, seemingly pacing but without disturbing anybody. One of the most tragic stories associated with Monte Cristo Homestead is that of a young woman who took her own life by jumping off of the balcony. She was burdened by the weight of her circumstances and the despair that accompanied her situation. She made the heartbreaking, horrific decision to leap into the void below. Witnesses claim that her spirit continues to haunt the homestead to this day. She'll often appear as a shadowy figure that stands near the balcony where she met her tragic end. Visitors have also reported feeling a very profound, deep sadness when standing in the area, as if the echoes of her sorrow still linger in the air, haunting the very place where her life came to an abrupt and devastating conclusion. Her story serves as a poignant reminder of the struggles faced by those who felt trapped by their circumstances and left an indelible mark on the history of the homestead and the physical land itself. Another sorrowful tale is that of a young boy who was tragically chained in a room and later committed to an asylum. The circumstances surrounding his confinement are shrouded in mystery. There's whispers of abuse and neglect that paint a very grim picture of what his life was like within the walls of Monte Cristo. As the boy grew older, his suffering only intensified, and it led to his eventual institutionalization. Today, visitors to the homestead often report feeling a really unsettling presence in the room where he was once confined, and it's as if the walls themselves are mourning his lost, stolen childhood. Some claim to hear faint cries and the sound of rattling chains, which are just echoing the boy's anguish and despair. One of the most heart-wrenching spirit hauntings of Monte Cristo Homestead is that of the staircase. In 1917, a devastating incident occurred involving Ethel, the infant granddaughter of Christopher Crowley. Hey, are you ready to turn your house into a smart home? With Eufy, you can join over 9 million families worldwide who trust Eufy for top-notch smart home technology. They believe great products should be thoughtfully designed to meet your needs. They have a variety of products from cleaning technology like robot vacuums, vacuum cleaners, and smart scales to security technology like security cameras, video doorbells, cameras with lights. They even have baby products like breast pumps and smart socks. You have to check it out. At Eufy, they care about more than just functional performance. Their intuitive, human-first technology seamlessly integrates into your life, helping you focus on what truly matters. Plus, with a hassle-free warranty, a 30-day money-back guarantee, free shipping, and lifetime customer service, you can have peace of mind for you and your family. If you want to support our podcast while enjoying amazing smart home products, click on my affiliate link to shop at Eufy. The link is in my show description, and your purchase helps keep our show running. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and invite your friends and family to listen to our podcast too. And if you happen to be listening on Spotify, scroll down to participate in the questionnaire or leave a comment. Thank you so much. One of the most heart-wrenching spirits haunting Monte Cristo Homestead is that of a child who met a tragic fate after falling down the staircase. In 1917, a devastating incident occurred involving Ethel, the infant granddaughter of Christopher Crowley. Her nursemaid, claiming to have been pushed by an unseen force, accidentally dropped Ethel down the staircase, and it caused the child's untimely death. This heartbreaking event adds yet another layer of tragedy to the homestead's already very dark history. Visitors to Monte Cristo often report feeling an overwhelming sense of fear when they approach the stairs, and it seems to affect children more than anyone. The children seem more sensitive to the presence of the young spirit than anybody else. Adults have also experienced unsettling sensations on the stairwell, including phantom hands pressing against their back or the feeling of an eerie moisture enveloping them. Many claim to hear the faint, ghostly sound of a child's laughter echoing through the house, a haunting reminder of Ethel's very short and tragic life. These unsettling occurrences suggest that the unseen forces at Monte Cristo continue to manifest the pain and the sorrow of the past, creating an atmosphere that is thick with the weight of lost innocence. The homestead is also said to be haunted by two sorrowful apparitions, both of whom were maids with tragic stories that forever changed the fabric of the house. One maid was pregnant with Christopher Crowley's child and faced a heartbreaking fate. She decided to jump from the balcony to her death because she couldn't cope with the circumstances surrounding her. Her spirit is often seen haunting the veranda. And some people have even said that there's a ghostly blood stain that marks the spot where her body hit the ground. Another apparition is that of a confined woman. She spent her entire life in isolation within the walls of Monte Cristo. Her story reflects the emotional toll of seclusion, echoing Elizabeth Crowley's own reclusive existence. This woman, whose name has been lost to time, is believed to have suffered greatly, and her spirit now roams the hallways, embodying the pain of her confinement. Visitors to the property often report feeling a very heavy, melancholic presence when they're in her vicinity, as if the walls themselves mourn her fate. And together, these two maids weave a tapestry of deep sorrow that enriches the haunting lore of Monte Cristo. Their stories forever will be etched into the home that they once served. Among the many spirits said to inhabit the property, the tragic story of a young stable boy named Morris stands out. Oh, this one got me. Morris was a young boy, and he often slept among the horses and the carriages, but his life ended in a horrible... They say it's an accident, but it wasn't an accident. Let me explain. His boss, mistakenly believing that he was faking illness, decided that he was going to set the straw mattress that the boy was sleeping on fire. His thinking was that he wanted to prove that the boy was faking the illness and thought that if he set the bed on fire, the boy would just jump up and get out of bed. But the boy did not jump up. He literally did not have the strength to move, and no one was able to save him once everything was set on fire. He laid there shaking and suffering under the horrendous heat of the flames. He screamed in agony until his body gave up to the torture that was happening to him. And even to this day, visitors report hearing cries and yells in the night, resonating from the stable area as if the echoes of Morris's anguish is still lingering there. In addition to Morris, the grounds are said to be haunted by a phantom coachman who is forever bound to his duty. On moonless nights, visitors have claimed to hear the eerie sound of horse hooves clattering against the ground and the rattle of carriage wheels. This spectral figure is often described as wearing period-appropriate attire, diligently tending to his phantom horses and carriages as if he was still in service. It appears to be a residual haunting. While visiting the property, there's been reports of chilling phenomenon that often unnerve the visitors. There are spectral cries of a baby emanating from the nursery. There's no record of any infants ever living in the homestead, so it's really confusing as to who the baby was. They had the nursery on the property, but there's no record of a baby living there. It's very interesting. But these haunting sounds, they resonate down through the halls, and people can hear them. The cries add to the eerie ambiance of the estate, creating an unsettling atmosphere that heightens the sense of otherworldly presence. Guests often find themselves drawn to the nursery. There is one malevolent entity that stands out for its particularly aggressive behavior. This spirit is believed to be one of the homestead's servants, and it has gained a reputation for targeting unsuspecting visitors. Those who encounter this presence often report unsettling experiences such as having their hair pulled, unexplained scratches that leave marks on their skin. Whenever this spirit shows up, the atmosphere gets thick with an overwhelming sense of dread. It's something that people seem to have a hard time describing other than the deep, deep feeling of something really horrible being in the space. Today, Monte Cristo Homestead stands as a poignant reminder of its storied past, having remained vacant for over a decade after the last Crowley family member left in 1948. In 1963, Olive and Reginald Ryan took ownership of the manor, and it remains in their family to this day. They decided to preserve the history and haunting legacy of the estate. The homestead continues to attract visitors eager to experience its eerie ambiance and learn all about the tragic tales of things that have happened and where they happened. They offer a unique glimpse into the lives of those who once inhabited its walls. If you find yourself in Junee, Australia, and you wish to explore the haunting beauty of Monte Cristo Homestead for yourself, be sure to check out the affiliate link in the show notes to purchase your tickets and immerse yourself in this remarkable historical experience. Well, you've just heard a chilling history of events surrounding the hauntings at Monte Cristo Homestead, a stark reminder of the darker side of the unknown and supernatural. But here at Dark and Divine Encounters, we know that not all paranormal experiences are filled with spirits that were chained up in rooms or entities that want to pull our hair or inspire overwhelming fear. Sometimes the unexplained has gifts of wisdom to help us deal with the mysteries of life. Now, let's shift our focus from the shadows of the past. Our next story will uplift your spirit and remind you that the Kalpavriksha, the wish-fulfilling tree, has advice and tangible guidance on how to overcome darkness and obtain a loving, fulfilling life. In Hindu mythology, the Kalpavriksha, also known as the wish-fulfilling tree, is a divine entity believed to grant the desires of those who seek its blessings. It originates from ancient texts of the Vedas and later elaborated upon in the Puranas. This celestial tree is often depicted as a lush, vibrant entity that transcends the limitations of the physical world. It is said to embody the ultimate form of abundance, providing not just material wealth, but also spiritual fulfillment and happiness. The lore surrounding the Kalpavriksha is intricately woven into the tapestry of Hindu beliefs, representing the deep connection between nature and the divine. So let's visit the story of Kalpavriksha. Depending on where you go in India, the story is going to vary a little bit, and depending on who's telling it, for instance, will also affect how the story goes. But the main parts of the story should be pretty much the same. So I'll tell you my version of the story, but feel free to YouTube it. I know Sadhguru has his own version. There's a few different versions out there. Once upon a time, in the celestial realms where gods and goddesses resided, the universe was in a state of chaos. The demons, known as asuras, were wreaking havoc, and the balance of good and evil was threatened. To restore harmony, the gods decided to churn the ocean of milk, which is called the Samudra Manthan, to obtain the nectar of immortality known as Amrita. This churning process required the use of the divine Mount Mandara as a churning rod and the serpent Vasuki as the rope. As the gods and demons worked together, various treasures emerged from the ocean. One of these treasures was the Kalpavriksha, the wish-fulfilling tree that would soon become a symbol of divine abundance. When the Kalpavriksha first emerged from the depths of the ocean, it was resplendent. Its leaves were shimmering like emeralds, and its branches were heavy with fruits of every kind. The gods were overjoyed, for they knew that this tree would grant them anything that they desired. As they approached the tree, it became very apparent that it possessed the power to fulfill the wishes of anyone who sought its blessings. The gods marveled at its beauty and immediately began to make wishes from it. From celestial gardens to divine weapons, each request was being met with the fruits and flowers of the Kalpavriksha. However, the asuras were not to be left out. Witnessing the gods reveling in the bountiful gifts of the Kalpavriksha, they too sought to harness its power. The tree, sensing the greedy intentions of the asuras, remained steadfast. It refused to yield to the selfish desires of the asuras. The gods, recognizing the potential danger posed by the asuras, decided to protect the tree, ensuring it would only bestow blessings upon those with pure hearts. This led to a battle between the two factions, a fight not only for the tree, but also for the very essence of balance in the universe. In the aftermath of the fierce struggle, the gods managed to secure the Kalpavriksha, restoring its sacred status. They decided to place the tree in a heavenly garden of Indra, the king of the gods, where it would remain safe from the clutches of darkness and evil. The gods continued to honor and cherish the Kalpavriksha, inviting the righteous to visit and seek its blessings. It became a symbol of hope, abundance, and the importance of purity in one's desires, reinforcing the belief that true fulfillment comes not from material wealth alone, but a heart aligned with the divine. To this day, the Kalpavriksha remains a significant figure in Hindu culture, often depicted in art and literature as a metaphor for spiritual abundance. It teaches the valuable lesson that while wishes may be granted, the true essence of fulfillment lies in the purity of intention behind those wishes. People seek to connect with the spirit of the Kalpavriksha, hoping to cultivate a life rich in both material and spiritual wealth, thereby continuing the legacy of the divine, wish-fulfilling tree that emerged from the cosmic depths. So, imagine waking up each day with a profound sense of purpose and abundance, where every desire you hold is within reach, just like the bountiful blessings granted by the Kalpavriksha. This ancient tale teaches us that true fulfillment comes not just from wishful thinking, but from cultivating a mindset aligned with purity and intention. So what if you could apply the wisdom of the celestial tree to your own life? This is an old story, but hidden inside of the story are instructions. Let me break it down for you. We're going to go through this step by step so you know exactly what to do. Hey listeners, whether you're jetting off to explore a new city or rediscovering the hidden gems in your own backyard, I have got the perfect tip for you. Check out Viator, a TripAdvisor company, for amazing deals on tickets to experiences, attractions, landmarks, and activities all over the globe. Imagine snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef, touring historic castles in Europe, or even taking a thrilling ghost tour right here at home. Viator has it all and at reduced prices too. So you might even find tickets to visit the incredible places that we talk about right here on Dark and Divine Encounters. Why wait? Dive into your next adventure with Viator and make every trip unforgettable. Click my affiliate link in the show notes to get started and support Dark and Divine Encounters while you're at it. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and invite your family and friends to listen to our podcast too. And if you're listening on Spotify, scroll down to participate in the questionnaire or leave a comment. Thank you so much. Learning from the Kalpavriksha is not just about acquiring the ability to fulfill wishes. It's about embracing a holistic approach to life that fosters deep connection. The connection is between our desires, our values, and the universe. This ancient symbol serves as a reminder that our true potential lies in the purity of our intentions and the alignment of our actions with our deepest aspirations. By understanding the lessons of the Kalpavriksha, we can cultivate mindfulness and gratitude, enabling us to navigate our journey with clarity and purpose. Furthermore, these teachings encourage us to recognize that the path to fulfillment is just as significant as the destination itself, promoting personal growth and spiritual development. Ultimately, learning from the Kalpavriksha empowers us to create a life brimming with meaning, abundance, and joy, which allows us to transform our wishes into lasting realities, things that feed our joyfulness for long periods of time if not the rest of our lives, versus momentary, temporary joys. This ancient wisdom from the Kalpavriksha is easy to apply once we understand the basic ideas. At its core, it teaches us that our thoughts and intentions shape our reality. When we clearly define what we want, and then we focus in on it with a positive mindset, we open ourselves up to receiving those things in our lives. The Kalpavriksha reminds us to align our desires with our values, practice gratitude, and then take action towards our goals. In Hindu beliefs, everything in the universe is connected, all of it. Our thoughts, our words, our actions, they all create energy that influence our lives and the world around us. So when we approach our desires with pure intentions and a grateful heart, we attract good things, much like how the Kalpavriksha grants wishes. By understanding that connection, we can see that achieving our goals is not just about wanting something. It involves being mindful of how we think and act, helping us live more fulfilling, meaningful, purposeful lives. So, you've been waiting for this. What is the step-by-step guide on how to start fulfilling your desires? Let's get through it. Step 1 is to clarify your desire. So what is the action that you're going to take? You're going to take time to reflect on what you truly want. Get specific. Write down your desire in very specific terms. If you can add a time limit to it, if you can add a numerical amount, if you can add the emotional aspect of it, if you can add in there why it's going to help you or help other people in your life, that is a big one. If you can really clearly articulate what it is that you want and how it's going to help you, this whole process will be so much easier. When you write it out, ensure that it's framed positively and realistically. For example, don't write, "I don't want to be unhappy." Instead, write, "I wish for a fulfilling career that brings me joy." Instead of focusing on the negative aspect, highlight the positive. What is the positive that's going to come out of this? Step 2, align with your values. So what action do you take? You have to assess how the desire aligns with your core values and beliefs. If you don't know what your core values are, if you don't know what your core beliefs are, you're going to have to take some time out to identify that. In Hinduism, it's very simple. It's dharmic rule. You do what is helpful and good for the world, and you avoid the things that are hurtful and harmful. Your intention should also be positive and helpful. So here's a tip. Ask yourself questions like, does this desire reflect who I am? Will achieving this desire contribute positively to my life and those around me? Ensure that your desire is rooted in genuine, positive intention that doesn't bring harm to anybody. Step 3 is to cultivate gratitude. So the action that you need to take is this. Develop a daily gratitude practice that is focused on appreciating what you already have, because part of getting what you want is acknowledging what you have. Where are you at? What do you have that is helping you? What are the things in your life that you're grateful for? It's so much easier to attract more positive, more helpful, more loving, good things when we are already emanating good, positive energy. And how do we start emanating that energy? By focusing on what we're grateful for. So here's a tip. Keep a gratitude journal. List 3 things every day that you're grateful for and try to change the 3 things every day. This mindset shift should help attract more abundance in your life, similar to how the Kalpavriksha grants wishes. Step 4 is to visualize the desire. Spend time visualizing yourself achieving your desire, and not just about what you would feel if you achieved it, but how does this help the world? What is the grand picture? What is the big effect of achieving this goal and wish? Step 5 is take inspired action. So that means break down the desire into actionable steps that you can take towards fulfillment. These steps might change in time because sometimes the universe directs us in a different way, or external events happen which causes us or forces us to change the steps that we're taking. That's okay. It's okay if that happens. It doesn't mean that your wish is not going to be fulfilled. It just means that there are some adjustments that need to be made. But in the meantime, right now, while we're working on the steps, just break down your desire into actionable steps that you can take towards fulfillment. A tip for this is to identify 3 small achievable actions that you can take immediately. So instead of jumping to the big things like I want a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, I don't have money for that right now. It's really hard for me to achieve that. The steps it would take me to achieve that are a lot for me right now. So start with something small. If you start with something small that you can easily achieve, it'll be easier to go to the next thing, and make each one a little bit bigger than the previous one. So start small. Whether it's networking for a new job, signing up for a new class, or dedicating time each week to a new skill development or project, take proactive steps that align with your wishes. Step 6 is to practice patience and trust. And what this means is every time a thought comes into your mind that is doubting the process, questioning the process, judging the process, halt. Step 7 is reflect and adjust. That means to regularly reflect on your progress and adjust your approach as needed. Set time each week to review what's working and what's not. Step 8 is to celebrate the small wins. When things go right, celebrate it. Put positive energy towards it. These things, following these steps, they should snowball. It should be easier to make them bigger and closer to the grander wishes that you have for your life. The Kalpavriksha stands as a powerful symbol of abundance, teaching us that our desires can be fulfilled through clarity, intention, and alignment with our core values. So by embracing the wisdom of this ancient wish-fulfilling tree, we learn to cultivate a mindset of gratitude and positivity, recognizing that the journey towards our goal is just as important as the goal itself. Applying these teachings in our daily lives encourages us to take mindful action, nurture your authentic desires, and foster a deeper connection with the universe. As we integrate the lessons of the Kalpavriksha, we empower ourselves to transform our wishes into tangible realities, ultimately creating a life rich in fulfillment, joy, and purpose. We want to hear your own paranormal experiences. Have you had an encounter with spirit or experienced something that you just cannot explain? Send your experiences our way and you might hear them featured in an upcoming episode. You can reach out via email, social media, or through our website. And if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, my donation links are in the show description along with a link to the show notes. Your support helps us keep exploring real paranormal encounters together. Please share this podcast with people you know who love scary stories, spiritual lore, and anything unexplained. And that brings us to the end of the episode today. We have balanced the scales of the paranormal, revealing both the unsettling and the uplifting. Thank you for listening to Dark and Divine Encounters. Until next time, tread lightly but fearlessly.